Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to week 5 of the Esport Company's High School Valorant League. I am Sis, and joined alongside me today, Soav Danum. Soav, it's a fantastic day for some Valorant.
It's a beautiful day for some Valorant, and it's good to see you back, Sis. Normally we have 3 games. We've got 2 great ones today, though. We've had a little bit of an issue with game 2, so we may not catch that, but we'll find out the results eventually. And speaking of results of that, let's check out the results of how we got to where we are here. And you can see it. We got a tie for first. We're going to solve that tie today between Greater Johnstown and Windber, and Bishop Carroll all the way down there sitting at 0-4. They've had a tough schedule, but there's still some flexibility here. There's still some time to make.
Plenty of time in the season to go, but like you said, we've got a battle today for the schedule week. Our game number 1 is going to be Windber and Greater Johnstown, both tied for the same spot at number 1 seed. And game 2, unfortunately, did get canceled. So game 3 is going to be Garnet Valley and Hollidaysburg. Garnet Valley rocking the 0-2, Hollidaysburg 2-0. So both teams looking to keep their record on straight. But I think Garnet Valley really needs a start to their season here.
They really could use that, given that they are towards the bottom of the pack there. They're currently tied 7th, so near that bottom. A win would do them a lot of good, and it would bring them up towards that middle of the pack, looking towards that playoff time, and the rest of that goes. But, Hollidaysburg, they're looking good 2-0. They need to bring that up. So both of these teams, both these teams there really need to win. But who needs to win more is both of these teams in game 1, and that's Windber and Greater Johnstown, both of them trying to vie. This is going to be who we decide first and second here. So let's go check out who we've got for both of these teams over for the Greater Johnstown Trojans. We've got Amp, we've got Blaze, Zivaru, Sacrificed, and Junie TV.
That's wonderful. Coming in for Rambler too Windber, sorry. The Windber Ramblers got caught up in my words there. It's going to be Kunai, Shriller B, I believe that's a B at the end.
Yeah.
And just Bucky 1230 and Mr. Gary. So both teams 3-0, both teams rocking their rosters, looking to give the other one the first loss so they can pull ahead for that number 1 spot overall.
Mr. Gary being the wild card here on Windber, we've not seen them. I would be very curious to see why, if this is like a new pickup, if this is someone that's coming in there giving a spot to, or if this is like a teacher, if this is Mr. Gary the teacher filling in or something, who even knows. But I'm very excited to see where we go. And speaking of, once again, where we go, we are going to go on over to Bind, apparently one of this league's favorite places to go.
Bind, probably one of my favorite maps in Valorant, right along next to Icebox. A lot of people not the biggest fan of Icebox, but Bind's been in the game ever since the release. Very fun map. I like to see a lot of rays on that map, so definitely curious to see if they're going to be using that. Sky, possibly a lot of. It's very good for initiators, I feel like.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of space to initiate and open that. Definitely, since you have so many different angles to cover, a lot of important points for your controllers to cut off and kind of beat yourself in. And yeah, like you said, there's going to be a lot of interesting choices here as we go to character select.
And of course, people like to switch it up. Sometimes the most obvious pick doesn't really come out to play. So both teams really maybe try to counter each other too, depending on the picks too. You don't want to go too overly aggressive with your picks. Don't want to go too smoky, but some teams like to run double smokes too. I know Viper and Astra has been running a lot, especially since the nerfs to Astra. So we could see it here possibly.
It's possible. I mean, with Astra being so slow, she's a nice kind of similar slot to Omen in that regards, where you can get plenty of flexibility and utility. But we're still kind of waiting on our end to see. Unfortunately, the game is a little invisible for us, so I'm sure we'll be equally surprised when we see some agents selected.
Most definitely. A little bit of a guessing game here on the end of ours, but we've thrown quite a few options out there on who's going to pick who, but still waiting to see that side on our end, trying to fix that pretty quickly as we can.
Here's some choices being picked, so someone's at least knows what they want to play.
Most definitely. They are locking it in. There a little bit of a map transition there. So, I mean, it's pure conception for us. We could take a few guesses over here and try to figure it out. I mean, I've already said Raze. I said Sky, maybe a Sova as well, and possibly an Astra and a Viper. But possibly, maybe even an Omen and Brimstone. I know people have really been rocking Brimstone lately due to the stim biggies. Even though they did get nerfed, Brimstone's still, I think, very viable option.
As I recently sat down and played, I was very surprised that I picked up Brimstone for the first time in a while and saw I only had 1 stim pack. I was very much like, wait, what do you mean I only get 1? I have 1 shot to use this thing effectively? Oh no, that is tragic. But I'm sure if you're playing Brimstone right now, you're probably adjusted to that.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. I mean, the great thing about Valorant is anytime a nerf comes into an agent, anytime people change it, they still learn how to play it so quickly. They learn to adapt to it. I mean, goodness gracious, players like Jet or agents like Jet, Raze, they've been nerfed all the time, and people still rocking those agents. They're still strong. They still know how to adapt to them. So, end of the day.
All right, now we've got some things we can talk about here as this has opened up a little bit. But a couple Vipers. No Sentinels for the side of Windber, which I think is interesting, but double Sentinels for the side of Greater Johnstown makes this defense a little bit interesting. They've left the Killjoy alone, and maybe Zivaru on this Killjoy is a big threat.
Oh, most definitely, and he's solo on B though. He's finally gonna rotate out, but look at the pressure. Sharkkiller gets a start, and I think the rotation is just too late. They're gonna have a free side here.
Yeah, they will get in and get the spike down if they hurry. Yeah, there it is. It will go down. But the angles are in. The space is already controlled for the side of the Ramblers. And again, there it is. 2 picks coming for him.
Flash, what a flash there. They get one. Left alone here, Jimmy not trying to do a lot here. Gets the pick on the sky, but a 3v1, 2 players in hookah. You've got pretty much every angle to have to try to peek and hold here. We see Viper pushing back in the back end. Junie's gonna get timing here, probably on the end. Sova though, Bucky getting that kill. Beautiful peek, beautiful hold. Windber, it's about as good of a start as you can ask for.
I mean, considering you found the weak spot and a little lopsided of a defense there, like your Killjoy can hold down, but that's a lot of pressure for one person to kind of live through. So yeah, double that up. Get a little more information too, considering you couldn't really tell until it was too late that everybody was there. But now, Greater Johnstown, they do have this double Sentinel comp. They have the Reyna. They have these aggressive duelists here in the Jet and the Reyna. So there's a little bit of self-sustain. They have the sustain across the board, and they have quite a bit of utility, but no initiators. So this defense likely to be stronger than the attack, actually.
We see Sacrifice with the short. He's going to fall out of hookah, though. A smart play with the Roomba. Doesn't want to be spotted out. Sky dogging out long is going to create a lot of space, a lot of vision on the field here. Oh, I think that Kunai spotted, but he's got to kill the turret. He's going to be able to kill Reyna. Gets a shot off. Going to throw the nade now. Just trying to force it out. He's going to push. Gets the kill. That's good for 1. I think that's a good pick here for Greater Johnstown.
That is going to open it up, but they'll get traded out, but there's still some things there. Considering this is a save, Sharkkiller will come out and clean up one more, just still committing this utility into here. They want to take this B site.
Juni gets another pick. 3v3 now. They're going to go for the plan. Actually, it forces off with the volley. Juni gets another one. Now, a 3v1. They've got the guns from the Force. They're going to stuck B long. Just got an ego challenge, and Dylan gets the trade off. And Greater Johnstown, off of the Force, counter Force, actually manages to take the round.
That's a big change of pace. Usually you write those rounds off. So for Greater Johnstown, that's a boon. You can spend out to whatever you want, and you'll see that there's at least one. Sacrifice will take the rifle there. But it is going to force Windber down a bit. I don't think they were expecting that. I think they were expecting to come out with an easy, and they're going to force this half buy, I think. They kind of have to, because with that, what should have been a gimme round stolen from them, they're kind of looking down, a long road ahead at this rate.
I think it really came down to that early pick from Reyna. The hookah Sacrifice just gets the shorty kill. It caused a lot of the push to fall off. The Blaze gets dinked and gets hit by the Skydog. He's going to have to really fall off. And it's getting noticed by the dart. Just all the util getting forced out. Great pick from Sacrifice, though. Getting a trade off in showers. 4v4 now. They're going to still try to get the side as the Viper Molly comes out to the heavens.
That will block that out, and that'll give him the line. Meanwhile, that sideways wall also buying it. This is a map that doesn't require a lot of space to get in. Just that little sliver is enough to get the spike down, but the spike is on the other side, and they're playing for the defense of the wrong segment of this A site.
See a lot of players head towards showers, still looking to try to commit, just trying to force a pick possibly. Here's Vero still playing this nicely. Viper gonna go off the side, has the bomb, very risky pick, does get traded out. Vero gets another one now, 3v2. The bomb's still stuck in showers. Bucky's gonna fall A short. Now it's just left to Sharkkiller. Gonna get forced out by the flash. And all you can do here, trying to play off picks here. Trying to take a 1v1. Good shot, but gonna get traded out by Sacrifice. And Greater Johnstown, just a lockdown on defense.
I mean, double Sentinel is what that does, right? Like, I would even argue you almost have triple Sentinel in the Viper, who is just simply just a very static controller. So you have a lot of staying power. I think if you are Windber, you kind of need to look at say, all right, where is the Viper setup and where do we think the Sage is? Because that's going to make it way better for them to do this. Because on the counter side of this, Windber doesn't have much else other than this one Viper wall to really do a lot. They have the information, but the other thing that you usually see here is a Sage for the key kind of ice wall placement that you can just block off, get your segment, like kind of segment part of A or part of B, and get your spike down, and then play to that. And without that Sage wall there, it's going to be a tough fight for Windber.
Sacrifice gonna get hit by that dog. Still stunned. Mr. Gary can't get the kill though. Sacrifice is gonna use the random dismiss to get out of that. 3 players stacked towards Hookah. Zvero just playing inside of the tube, trying to play the drop down. You can pop the mollies. The Sova drone will come out. Can't get the tag though. Shark Killer pushed out. The timing though is gonna get farmed by Zvero there. 5v3 now, and I think Greater Johnstown has all the info they need right now.
They don't need any more. They know exactly where they are, but there is a chance that they can get out. I think this is a point where you just take the rotate and try your luck somewhere else. You have to assume the counter rotate is coming in, but you're going to be chased down anyways at this point. And that Marshall, not going to sit too well based on those things there. Oh, the shot just coming up short from NJ is unfortunate.
Oh, Zvero 4 HP. Still trying to get this last kill. A little bit aggressive, but let's get the finish one. The turret plays. Bucky's found out. Nice shot though from Bucky. Not really gonna be able to do a lot here though. You got 4 rifles coming straight at you. Greater Johnstown, the defense, the double sentinel, just a lockdown on both sides right now.
They are holding very well on this, and the real talk of the town right now is Sacrificed, honestly, just because already with that Empress up 5-2 leading their team has looked very good, has played aggressively and has gotten punished, but has also been trading out, which is what you need out of your duelists. So Sacrifice doing their job well, and Blaze a little bit short coming up with the Bulldog. They're gonna push the rest of it. I think Junie could have blocked there. That's unfortunate, but you know, you're fine. You have 2 ultimates on the board versus Mr. Gary's Empress, and that's going to be your kind of saving grace here for this. You are spending a lot of utility early, though.
I think Windber, they've been 5-stacking each site that they've been attacking you. And the problem is when you try to do that against a double Sentinel, you're going to have to use a lot of util, and you have to use it early on. So if they use this util like they've been doing just so quickly on the round, they've got to find the push, go with it. Now they're going to go to it, trying to push into U-Haul here. But Zvero, look at the flank, just gets Sova while he's caught in the drone, and now Greater Johnstown defense just suffocating them, and just like that, they're all gone.
It is hard to move into this comp with this, where there's a Sentinel on either site, and if you play into this Viper wall, you suddenly know that there's a lot more staying power. That was great map control from the side of Greater Johnstown to just say, okay, we can slow down their push, make them really uninterested in attacking, and while that's happening, we can just communicate that and surround them and pick them apart. And that was beautifully executed on the defense. The B, they've had a little bit more success on B, so I do like this take from the side of Windber, though.
They are going to force this round. They're trying to force a buy here. Zvero early initial contact gets vision of 2 players. She's going to fall off now. You have to break the dart, but they've got early vision now. And I think the biggest issue I'm seeing here is that they've been 5-stacking every side that they've been going to. There's been no lurking. You see Viper's already going to set up the flank.
Yeah, it's already looking for it. The call was made to rotate, and that'll get it. Zvero does find one, and Sacrifice will find the other ones from the distance, and they just have him surrounded once again. The Viper is going to take this long flank, but with Amp throwing out those knives too, you know, you may not have needed them, but you're going to try to get some value anyways.
Viper on the flanks, not going to be able to kill Kunai though. That sets up the 2v2. Throws those paint shells to the back end. They know that the player's back there. Gonna fall back for the Sky Hill, and it looks like they're gonna set up towards a smart decision. They knew both players were back there, and still, Greater Johnstown, both players planning on B. They have no idea that they have just walked on A right now. Shark Killer already has the U-Haul control. Maybe he's gonna push up here as they're gonna get the plant down. Now the rotate comes in.
I think this might have been a case you wanted to play aggressive here, give yourself a little bit more control of these angles, because if all it takes is for them to just assume that you're not playing there, and suddenly you get a free kill, and now you're playing passively, which can work in your favor here. You have spike down, so now you just play the time, and that's with those heals that are probably almost already out from Sky, you might be able to make this work, but there's still a lot of utility for Greater Johnstown to use, so this could work in their favor.
And dash, Cloudburst still active. Sky's gonna initially take the contact, doesn't get paid off though. Shark Killer not be able to get that one. Kunai, a good shot. Cloudburst isn't gonna last long enough. Kunai doesn't know, and now he knows it's off the bomb, but Amp gets the 1v1 duel. Is gonna run out of time though. Oh goodness, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be
on the line. Oh, got it.
Second left. Clutch blaze from Amp.
Yeah, again, and that speaks to the just the holding of that utility, right? Like they didn't commit every single thing on the side of Greater Johnstown there, so they had a lot of utility for that retake, and that was very smart of them. Knowing when to commit utility, when to just commit some bullets is a tough thing to acknowledge and when to figure out. But I like this Greater Johnstown defense. They've looked smart, they've looked good, and they're earning this 5-1 with those ultimates on the board, looking pretty good. That amp does have that operator now too, so they are in a good position, but an aggressive position, trying to beat that B long.
By coming out of Windber, they're gonna set up those ace right here. They have 3 ults. Not sure how risky or willing you are in wanting to use them on this round. Blaze just trying to get some shots through his own poison orb. They're just waiting patiently. A-Main waiting for the Viper orb to go out. They're gonna throw the random flash. Walking out on the site. There's 3 there. Everyone for Greater Johnstown rotating out. Sacrifice gets the kill mid-air. It gets another pick. Now the promising push for Windber has just fallen short yet again.
It was a good idea, and the thoughts were good there. Mr. Gary gonna get fought out by Amp on that operator, and suddenly again, this looks like it might just be a rotate. The Sova's gonna get out and probably get the spike down. If the communication comes in quick, they'll give chase, and someone will rotate through. I think Bucky will be able to get spike down though before they really start moving.
I think at this point, your most promising thing is just to get the bomb down, get the spike down, get 300 credits for your team, so you can have a secure buy next round. You get him out, maybe even a pick here as much as possible for this round. And he still has 2 shock darts, so I feel like he can get some decent damage at least out of this round.
Yeah, so on the side of Greater Johnstown, it's a 4v1. You don't need to commit anything else. Just tactically communicate, surround, and clean it up. You can even set someone on the spike and just team the rest of it up. Bucky will, get found out there, and it was just kind of a time. Again, the 300 credits is something you take it, and you're very happy with that, I guess, if you're Windber, because this has been a rough start from these 2 Titans sitting tied at first.
Small victories right now is the name of the game for Windber. They had a really promising start last round, but just fell apart instantly as we have a timeout coming in here by Greater Johnstown, I believe. DC, actually. So that gives you a lot of time for Windber, I feel like, don't you think so? Just to change your game plan.
You know what? Even if you didn't need this for the disconnect, I think you're fine. Like, you probably wanted to take a timeout anyways because you're halfway through this first round. It's not looking good. Like, a reset is probably a good moment here. Take a breath. Talk about what's going right, what's going wrong. What do we need to do? What do we need to change? Because there's a lot of things going on here, and there's still stuff you can exploit for the side of Greater Johnstown. There's no initiator. They don't really have any information, so you got to find that weak point and exploit it, really.
I feel like Greater Johnstown is mainly just been playing initial contact and rotate. Initial contact, rotate, send everyone there. And Windber, I don't think they've just managed to find that out yet. They haven't played off of that. All right, they know that we're 5 stacking. They know that we're setting up heavily for the side take. So now you have to wonder if this is just going to be like, all right, we're going to send one to lurk on A, send one to lurk here. But it doesn't really appear to be. Actually, maybe here that appears like they're setting up towards B. Not sure.
No, I mean, there's a terminology that is popular depending on the circles you run in, called playing for picks and defaulting. And that's probably that's kind of what you're alluding to here, is that they kind of need to spread they kind of need to spread out a little bit. They need to just kind of take their time, spend some utility, find out that information. They do have the Sova, so they can sit there and go, okay, let's put a dart in position, see if we get any sort of information from that, and then judge off of that. Does it ring and we get 2 or 3? Okay, let's not push this. Again, even simple stuff like, is the Viper wall down here immediately? Do we see that? All right, we probably shouldn't push into these smokes because they are expecting to heavily defend this. And then defaulting, for those who don't know, is just kind of like sending everybody down a lane and just trying to see and get some information just to try to get a bigger map picture.
And I think their utility usage has, for the most part, been pretty good in terms of just finding out initially. But the problem is they find it out and they still push it. It's kind of really risky to know that they're still there and still take the fight with 2 Sentinels. So I think at that point, you get the initial contact, the information that you need on who's on the site, especially if it's a Viper. Then you rotate back out, look for the pick, look for the person that's pushing out on defense and play around it. I think that's their biggest problem right now.
I agree completely, because once you see that you're pushing yourself into a tough scenario, like you said, like there's 2 double Sentinel plus this Viper, and Viper's basically a Sentinel in her own rights. There's kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of the anti-Sage, but at the same time also is similar to Sage. You have a wall, you have a lot of utility, you can stop or slow and deny space. So being aware that there's two basically Sentinel acting characters on a site is probably a good sign. You need to either slow up your pace and just force an error on the side of Greater Johnstown, which they haven't really done at this point too, or just consider where you're going.
I think too, being aware of when the Viper is using that wall, is using that poison cloud is huge because you're going to get timing, especially with the recent patch where Viper's wall does not last as long anymore. You have to time it better. You have to really play off of that. They need to be aware of that, especially off of their initial contact, the util that they're using. All right, are we going to push this now that the wall is down, or are we just going to keep waiting? Sometimes just waiting a little bit longer so you put that seed of doubt in your opponents of whether or not you're actually going to take the site can be the difference maker in these offensive pushes. I think that's why Greater Johnstown has been so good, is because they've predicted every single play from Windber so far.
Yeah, they'll get a little bit of information, if it's Zivaru just running out and trying to just baiting a couple bullets and seeing what's there, or if it's somebody just kind of, peeking for information. They are finding it out without this Sova, without an initiator, which is a tough thing to do and can be risky if you are pushing into a team that can be punishing you. But in the case of Windber, again, like you said, I think they need to be slowing this down. You have the ability to, you have double initiator on the side of Windber. So yeah, take your time, find out your information, and then decide based on what you see, what you want to do. Because the more just kind of utility and the more things the more you'll just get more free information and be able to make informed choices. And then tack on the fact that if you're just taking that long, then this team gets antsy. Greater Johnstown wants to engage. They want to take a fight. So if you can force them to make errors by just getting too antsy and looking for too much, you're in a good spot. And again, just like that, Zivaru pokes out for information and gets punished immediately.
Sacrifice though, the Rain ultimate comes out, gets one pick. Still trying to challenge this. Very risky play. So much utility being wasted on him right now. Still gonna hold this though. Manages to kill out Sharkler as well. Still staying on. Is gonna grab the orb now. Is gonna fall off. But look at Kunai, gets 2 picks on the back end. Sacrifice really trying to take aggressively on the speed line. Gets another kill, but finally gets beat out by Kunai. 1v2 situation here on the back end. Kunai is gonna push into elbow. Oh, might get timing here. Blaze is not holding this angle at all. He's gonna satchel off looking for the ace, but doesn't get it.
Oh, that's an unfortunate play. Get take out. Now it's down to Blaze, who will unfortunately fall to Bucky, and they will get the spike down. Yeah. So again, talking about this pause, talking about being antsy, like Windber, this pause did you some good. Play like that. Force them to make errors and force them to get greedy. Force those mistakes out of Greater Johnstown, and then capitalize on that. Work in your favor.
I got concerned there for a moment for Windber. Kunai really wanted that ace, and while his teammate was planning, decided to satchel off. Did get punished for it, but Bucky managed to win the round. But still, great showing from Windber. Getting that initial contact, killed Zavero in hookah, and then sacrificed B long, just getting really so much useful to use on him. Got a few picks, but eventually Windber able to get him out. So now 6-2. Still plenty of rounds capable for Windber as we see the lineup here. Coming
from downtown.
I love that. I love that.
That's beautiful. I want to learn that because that's great. Man. But finding nothing there, that might be a clue to go that way.
Only Rain and Sacrifice right now on B. Still have Killjoy utility set up there. Mr. Gary Kunai getting 2 picks on the A side. Gonna get another one. Kunai is just popping off right now. Now it's gonna leave Amp alone in the U-Haul. Playing very patient here. A wise play. The Viper ultimate will go down. Windber's going to get the plant. He's going to get some contact here. Very dangerous play. Both players getting some damage on each other. Now Amp in a 1v3 with the Viper ultimate. There's only so much that you can do.
You might try to take a pick with you if you don't, but you don't have the information too from that. So Windber again will come up, and this is a swing. This is the moment that Windber's looking for. They have some time in this half, so if they can keep this momentum going, they'll swing it back in their favor and make this a bit more competitive than it looked by the first 6, 7, 8 rounds. But the 4 ultimates for Greater Johnstown, they're only missing that Empress. Everything there looks like a great way to put a halt to that, because there's a bunch of ultimates, a bunch more tools there versus just the 2 for Windber, and it's a showstopper which can do well, and the Empress. So you're really counting on your duelist to come out big here.
Blaze is gonna pop the pit here, just holding down a main.
No, thank you.
Windber's actually gonna push into this, but I think they've realized, no, we don't want to contest this. We're gonna rotate back towards B side. Actually, Bucky's gonna run through. Oh my goodness, the timing right now is so close to getting initial contact by Blaze, but Windber does manage to get out of it. Now they're rotating B. Look at Sacrifice. He is pushed off so close, and that is very aggressive.
That's the aggressive nature that they are playing by. Greater Johnstown is playing this aggressively, and you can punish that. Assumed that no one was going to catch up, that they had a lot of time. Communication just wasn't there, so now B-site is now a bit more defended, but you have this man advantage in your favor.
Gets out one, everyone just waiting back. The defensive lockdown, Killjoy's going to bid it out, but Mr. Gary gets another pick on Amp, who had the daggers out. He's going to try to push into this lockdown, then push out Severo, but Junie gets two. Try to keep this lockdown alive. We see Viper still in hookah with Sova with the bomb. The res is going to come out. Now, oh look, the timing. Viper back in spawn, and Jace is going to kill out Sage. Possibly another one. The Molly comes out, and look at the timing for Blaze.
The return flank, you gotta watch all those angles, and it's tough. You know, again, Greater Johnstown is not necessarily keeping track on everybody, but they're trying to get down, and Jace will fall. Greater Johnstown, yeah, they just had the tools there. Like, that was kind of what it was. They committed a couple ults to make this work, but they knew they needed to. They committed everything into that, actually, to make that work. So I respect it, though. But now pendulum will swing back. There's 3 ultimates for Windber, and they can close this out with a couple more on their side for Windber if they play this well.
And that last round almost looked like it was going to be in the favor of Windber until that res came out. Sage's resurrection came out, managed to res one, get the kills in hookah, and then finally the 2v1 managed to pay off. So now 7-3, like you said, 2 more rounds, very capable, especially with the Sova ultimate. You got the Empress, you have the Showstopper, and now they're going to set up towards A.
Poor Dart.
Already coming out here.
Oh, that Dart, unfortunately not finding anything, and that Wolf will find something, though. So now you have some information. You know where Blaze is, and Blaze has been there all the time. There's a bit of predictability that you can make with this. So if you're Windber, you can play into that, what you know and what you've seen them do time and time again. Sacrifice is going to make that late rotate, but the counter rotate will come through for Windber. They know it's probably not worth pushing here.
And they managed to kill Severo on the back end. Actually, that's a very premature ult for Bucky.
Oh!
Kill Junie, and he's gonna kill Blaze. Bucky, oh my goodness, the instinct. 200 IQ right there.
Wow, that's a heck of a Sova play right there. That first one must have just caught the edges of the characters and was able to pick those out. Great prediction. Bucky has been great on the Sova. Has been really shining for the Windber team.
5v2 now. Greater Johnstown staring down. Mr. Gary's gonna get the kill on the back end. Now Amp left in a 1v5. Gets managed to kill out one, trying to get the last one. A little bit of damage. Still, the odds are heavily not in his favor. Still have a dash and a cloud burst. I don't think he's gonna like to use it though. He's just trying to play picks. Now he's gonna fall back. Still playing this exit here, looking to hold on to his gun. And yeah, this is a very smart play here coming out of him.
I agree completely. You know you're not winning the 1v4. If it was any less and you're feeling confident, maybe. But like the round's lost, you have one more before the reset. You might as well just take what you can get going into this last round and make it good. And at 7-4, you're not. Oh, that's unfortunate for Sharkiller. Yeah, at 7-4, like you're not too unhappy about that. 7-5, even you've come out ahead. Given Bind as a map, like I think with Greater Johnstown, you're probably feeling pretty good, but this attack for Greater Johnstown is going to be a little bit more difficult because the information gathering suddenly just won't be available based on this lack of initiator comp.
And we see so far Windber still basically been playing the same strategy as setting off initially with 5 towards the site, but they've been playing to rotate. They've been playing patient and waiting for the rotate to come from the other side. They've been getting picks. They've been rotating off of it. I'm really curious to see this Windber team on defense, how they're going to play, if they're going to be aggressive as well, but we still leaning towards the B site with sacrificing Killjoy playing the lockdown.
Are going to will clear out hookah and they will have that entry, and the Odin Zivru with the Odin in the background will get spotted out. Yeah, that's the correct play. You can pass that information along, and that'll be the Reyna Lear coming out just to buy some space. So, adjust, give up your space, and play to fight and get a pick here.
Running onto the B side now. Actually, Sky is very deep. Shard Killers trying to kill out Amp, unable to do so. Everyone very far back right now. Amp jiggling around, trying to find out the Viper. Viper has the bomb very close inside. Is anyone going to find her? Yes, they will. 3v3, the Showstopper's going to come out now. Very dangerous spot for Junie. He's just going to launch it to the back of the end. And now Kunai stuck along with Sova in the back end now. Greater Johnstown has full control of the bomb right now.
Yeah, as I say, the Sky going in deep and not really getting it down was a bit of a misplay there. You kind of needed to focus on getting the spike down when you had the control that you had. There was a brief moment where the retake kind of didn't happen, and Bucky will get forced out there. There it is. Sacrifice is going to get that last head, but there was a brief moment where you could have gotten the spike down. You had 4 and 5 on the point, and that's the moments you need to take for for as an attacking group, when you know you have control, you know you can get spiked down, your smokes are up, that's when you need to be playing and taking advantage of the space your team's created. It's a small gap in a timing of window, but if you miss it, that's what'll happen. The spike will go down deep, you're suddenly down a man, and you can't get that back. But hey, it's a new half, it's 8-4. Greater Johnstown now has to attack into a pretty attack-heavy comp in Windber, actually.
Everyone looked a little bit off tune that last round for Windber, just not quite sure what was going on there in terms of who's going outside, who decided not to go, and it just turned into a shambled mess. But nonetheless, like you said, 8-4, completely switched now. It's going to be 3 stacked towards the B side for Windber, and Kunai and Anjace is going to lock down that A side, and it looks like this Greater Johnstown is going to go for an A push initially off the pistol round.
But will they see what they want? Because again, there's just going to be Zivaru kind of poking and seeing what they can use on this high ground. We'll see nothing, and they're probably going to think it's as clear as they can take the space they need to do. So they've gotten the important part where they can get the spike down. Let's just see if they do it. That stage wall will come down. Junie will get that spike down, and the stage wall will follow. But the picks happen.
Well, now 4v3 Greater Johnstown. Being on the back end here, Sacrifice is going to die in U-Haul. Windber just rotating on Divas Blaze. Nice pick from Showers, but they have timing there. Now a 2v2 situation. Sova Dart coming out, trying to avoid the dart. Trying to get the peek from Blaze. Blaze is actually going to peek. He's going to farm out Kunai. One player left alive. Bucky on the end, and what a shot from Amp. Beautiful, beautiful plays from Greater Johnstown.
Really speaking to both teams here, why they're both tied for first right now, right? They both have these moments where every player across the team is just looking very good, but Greater Johnstown has just come up a little bit better, and you can kind of just see it across the board of just the kills have kind of been falling their way. These interactions just continue to fall for them. The shots land better for Greater Johnstown, and I think if that's the case, again, take it, slow it down again a little bit. You're on the defense here, but you can delay and kind of play the mind games here to wait for their initiation. You also got to work on rotating, because that was a little bit of a tough rotate for the side of Windber too.
Two marshals coming out here. Windber decided to semi-force this. Mr. Gary trying to get a right-click peek. Still, this is a very awkward spot to be in as everyone is rotating. He's just going to do the crouch ball underneath Hugo, but Zavera's going to see him out. Can he get the kill? Yes, one more. And the elbow shot. Nice shot from Zavera to farm out that Marshall. Now 3 players for Windber in the back end. Bucky gets one with the Marshall. The flank coming down. Sacrifice very aggressive plays. Both players for Windber stuck in the same spot. This looks like it's falling to Greater Johnstown.
Yeah, they get in. They executed that very well. All things considered, they got the couple picks they needed to, and Windber, taking that force may regret that, because now suddenly they're just looking at another lost round. There is going to be a rifle in Kunai. They are going to invest that into their top scorer at 13 and 11, but that's a big ask to try to hope your Raze is going to be able to put that pressure on everybody else. They'll invest in mid, Marshall as well, and again, this is getting kind of do or die. There's not as many rounds left, but you still got to be aware of your eco and what you choose to do with it.
So sometimes you have to, in situations, you have to force just because of lack of rounds, but I don't think they had to in that situation.
Yeah.
There was plenty of time to save up their economy, but nonetheless, they're going to force, and they're going to play very passive on this B side while Greater Johnstown push in.
Yep, and I think that's a reasonable take here, given what they've gotten, and they will get that space for free. The aggression here, Zivaru going over the top, just going to try and take that down, and they've gotten control in. It will get traded out, but they've gotten what they needed. The spike is down, so now suddenly it is going to be a retake 3v3.
Guy flash coming out. All 3 players for Windber in the back end. They're going to fall out now. One player playing long. Blaze playing lineups. I like the play. Junior's going to get spotted out, but Anjace can't get the distance with the Spectre. Molly actually not able to make that onto the spike. Sharkula 30 HP. He's going to try to get Junie. The timing maybe no. Junie's going to get him. Kunai last alive, and this is such an awkward spot to be in. Maybe gonna stick it. Pros don't fake. You hear it often. He's actually gonna fake it out, gets the kill, but you can't get both of them. And Greater Johnstown perfectly executed again.
Greater Johnstown just has more of a set play kind of setup here. They've just had their plans kind of going into this. They know how they want to attack B site. You can see it. There's just constantly Blaze knows exactly where they want their walls to be. Even on the defense, you can kind of see it. These set plays from the side of Greater Johnstown have looked. They've just looked efficient. They've looked good. They've kind of set them down and known exactly what they want to do, and they're getting value off of it. So it's going to be a tough ask, but it's not over yet for Windber. They're going to mix their buy and just force at this point, because you are running out of time. You got to do something.
Yeah, the buys from earlier is coming to haunt them now. They're having to force everyone. Zavero's playing like he's on a duelist right now, just running down everything. Gets 2 picks. It's gonna alleviate the free A site for them, and still look at the aggression. So close to spawn. Honestly, I like the plays from him. Why not?
I mean, yeah, he's feeling himself. He's had a great game. But the whole team, oh, gotta check those corners. Gets, oh no, for the ace! Comes up huge. Zavero feeling themselves with good reason.
Zavero, I feel like is one of those players that you could put him on Killjoy, you could put him on Jet,
Yeah.
Reyna, Sage, doesn't matter. He is going to get the kills. So much aggression, and that's just beautiful to watch because Killjoy players, most of the time, they're known for sitting really far back, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to place this turret, fully run at you. Let's see who wins the infight.
I mean, it's a good use of the utility in Killjoy, and that's, again, sometimes you don't win by just having the better rifle or by hitting the heads first. Sometimes you win by just making the error or making the outplay. And you know, hey, deal with my turret while I come at you with a phantom is a great outplay when your opponent's not expecting it.
Windber has to win this round if they want to stay alive in this game. Bucky is playing very far back. I like the idea. I don't want to get early picked on the side. The Killjoy Molly will come out. It's very falling on who's going to throw one, but you did expect 2 players on elbow. Great play here from Windber on the setup. And now maybe Greater Johnstown. Not really deciding whether or not they want to go out. Viper's going to go out. No amp. It looks like they're trying to take this B site, and they have control, so they're going to get the plant down.
They will get it down, and the wall will come back up, and suddenly this dissected site will look some value. That will be the drone coming out, trying to find a little more information, but a 4v4 on Windber. Oh, Amp finds Mr. Gary peeking in that corner a little too much, and suddenly this battle's wide open.
3v2 now. Windber trying to do everything in this almost impossible retake. Blaze is low HP inside of the 2, but you have 2 players playing long. Junie looking to push out aggressively on the elbow corner is actually going to pay off. 3v1 now. Bucky running out of time, running out of teammates. Actually, Blaze, what a shot. No HP. It didn't matter. Greater Johnstown secures their series over the other juggernauts.
I mean, it's both of these teams coming in undefeated. One of them was bound to lose, but Greater Johnstown really came to play today, and Sacrifice leading at the top of the kill board too. 2-1, just 2-1. Every single round, there was 2 dead to Sacrificed. That's just the raw numbers from the play of Greater Johnstown, which is good. They came to play, they came ready to go, and you got to respect that. Windber still has, I mean, this is just cements them firmly in second, though, right? Like, that's like a pretty good consolation prize, I think, if you're the Ramblers.
And Zavero and Sacrifice, a duo that I think we're going to be keeping our eye on for the rest of the season. Windber, a great game, but they just got ousted this time for Greater Johnstown. Could it have been the map? Who knows? But the map definitely played in the favor of Greater Johnstown. I think we'll be seeing that match again not too long. But for now, that will wrap it up for the first matchup of the day. Don't go anywhere because we have plenty more Valorant action coming your way. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the last and final game of the day for Valorant. I am Sid. Joining alongside me again today is Suave. And Suave, we've got a matchup between the Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers and Garnet Valley Jaguars.
Yeah, 2 teams from either side of the spectrum right here. The Garnet Valley having a little bit of a tough take. They're 0-2, and Hollidaysburg looking good at 2-0. So one team looking to break the cycle, and the other team looking to keep that cycle going and continue another W climbing up. Still a lot of time, though. So match matters. You know, everybody can continue to climb or fall based on this week. So, you know, anything's possible here.
Hollidaysburg has decided to ban Ascent, which means Garnet Valley has the pick, and they picked Fracture
I
of
never
all the
thought
maps.
never thought we would see this. And good on Garnet Valley, because maybe this is something that, I mean, I don't know about you, but most people I associate with that play Valorant don't want to play Fracture. They will avoid this actively. So maybe there is something in Garnet Valley's playbook here that they feel confident in, or they at least feel they have an advantage to pick this. And I like it. I think it's a good mind game, if nothing else.
Hollidaysburg decided to defend first, and with that, we're going to go into Hollidaysburg roster for today. It's going to be V Snipes, Monopoly, Z-Lock, Interstellar, and Loki.
A lot of familiar faces, a lot of familiar players here. But over on the other side, for Garnet Valley and the Golden Tigers, we've got Hypers, Frost, we've got the Drink Duo, High C and Brisk T, and Excurma to bring up and round out the five there. And a lot of familiar faces. We've seen a couple. These teams have had a couple weeks off, but they are not too bad, all things considered.
I've been seeing the players warming up in their range, trying to get the hands feeling comfortable, the aim a little bit smoother. Of course, it's gonna probably be a little bit jittery for the first 2 rounds, but I mean, hey, that's what you expect, especially playing on stream. The nerves could definitely be there. But Fracture, we were talking about a lot about this pregame and the different lineups that they could use, and honestly, the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, this is kind of an open. We were hypothesizing what we might see from the pros, but this is pros versus where we are. This could be anything, and we haven't seen. I think we've seen one or two. Look at all the Yoru's on the other side. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of some different things. I like on the side of Hollidaysburg, they have this very interesting. They have a very interesting, like, well-rounded comp. I like the double duelist, double sentinel. It's very good stuff. And they're looking good there. I do think the Omen maybe isn't going to be a lot of controlling like sightlines pressure, but I do like the look. And meanwhile, on the other side, Garnet Valley, the Viper is kind of what we were thinking might be a little bit more. The Rays are great. The Breach looks like pretty. This is actually close to what we were thinking we might see for the side of Garnet Valley.
Yeah, it completely slipped my mind, but one of my favorite agents to play that I didn't even think about was Chamber. Chamber is such a vital agent on any map, especially Fracture 2. He's got those alarm bots back then, basically a better killjoy when it comes to that. His ultimate is insane. So this comp coming out of Garnet Valley, a Breach, a Viper, a Raised Jet, and a Chamber, that is pretty nice. And a Hollidaysburg, that still is a good comp. It just looks more like a basic comp, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but I would argue even still a basic comp, you're going to pick Sova 9 times out of 10. Like, that's kind of the interesting one to me. There's no initiator there. So with how many different ways there are to move around this map, it seems like you might want something to try to clear your angle, whatever that might be. The Breach, not necessarily giving you information, but is definitely good to help you clear that. And I think Garnet Valley will look to that as a distinct advantage. And you can see this split push. They're kind of deciding what they want to do. And I hesitate to say they're going to move towards A, but they are at least, they're leaving their options open. And in a map like this, that's kind of in your favor as the attacker.
It seems a little bit of a split here on the side of the offense. Chambers
Like it.
taking the bomb towards the A, and see just a very, very heavy basic default coming out from Garnet Valley.
I like it, though. I think you, aside from your bottom left-hand push there, B side, you've got all your angles covered, and that flash is, speaking of that, going to be covering, and Zlock will manage to get out alive, but there's not much to be had for them. Monopoly, meanwhile, is defending over on A, and that's where the push is starting to come in.
Good pick on Interstellar here. Just trying to free up Monopoly's in such a bad spot. A good pick on Brisk Overhill. The room was gonna give that 3 HP. I don't know how he's still alive. Coming out of the trip, he's still alive. And finally, the paint shells will get him out. Garnet Valley just racing on the site. They have to grab the bomb. They do so. 3v3 now. Everyone running in here. Hyper's taking a 1-1. All 3 players there for Hollidaysburg. Experiment gets the pick on Loki. The Breach Chamber is going to come out. It's going to force them to fall off. So much util still left over. Experiment going to pick off Z-Lock. Now, Snipes. Very awkward position.
Yeah, it's just Snipes, and doesn't really have any information or anything to do, and that vulnerability there will pick up 2. Now they know where he is. We'll get the 1, but there's still 2 to contest with in addition to the spike, so think they know where it is. We'll opt into a little bit of a lesser gun. Oh, that DK is huge, though.
timing of the Viper wall. I mentioned it earlier, not too long ago. You got to play around it, but that, as soon as he thought he could walk through it, the Viper went up, the decay happens, and now Garnet Valley, after a very chaotic start to the game, has the lead, and they will be forcing out the Spectres. Pretty predictable here. Hollidaysburg looking to set up 3 on the A side. I like stacking when you're on eco round, you have pistols, you know, just try to predict. Maybe even 4, honestly, why not, you know?
I mean, how do you really predict a map like this? The kind of one thing that this fracture does well is create airs of unpredictability. You know, while the defenders have access to kind of move anything, they're quite literally surrounded. So you made initial contact over on B, and that's probably going to be the sign to start rotating at least 1 or 2 of your members there, and that will be the Viper wall down to just try to clear some space and get themselves in. Oh no!
Gonna get snipes, and now the rotate comes out, but it's just way too late. Loki finally comes in. Spectre with that one.
Oh.
Monopoly 2, and Garnet Valley last life here over on the side. Hollidaysburg Interstellar is
planted.
Well, maybe 1 pick, but there's not a lot you can do here. Oh, there it is.
Just as you say that, there's the one on the Frost. The Frost monster has been put down, but now they know where Interstellar is, so it's just going to be kind of getting the last couple picks there, and they will surround to clean this up. But maybe get 1 more. Nah, good try though. You take 1 off of somebody that's pretty good. Garnet Valley here, their pick is looking incredibly strong for them as they start up 2-0 here. I think they must have scrimmed this map. Like, there's nothing I can see because they are looking good here.
Playing like a well-oiled machine right now. And I've heard a lot of different pros takes on this map. A lot of people that play this, and some say it's easily to defend, others say it's easy to attack. So you've got about a 50-50 when it comes to there. Right now, Garnet Valley is definitely on the side of easy to attack because they are looking fluent right now in the attacks. Looks like they're going to set up towards the A side here. Another kind of split. Jet's going to be lurking on that B side towards Arcade to try to pick off Chamber, but the slow play from Garnet Valley has been working.
It has worked in their favor, and that kind of slow play is something you want to take your value in. There's no need to just rush on unless that's your actual plan, but you know, now you've got some ideas, you can expend some utility, you're getting a little spotted out, but if you can punish Monopoly on that high ground, you can continue this, but the rotations will come through, so Garnet Valley needs to move a little faster if they're going to make this push successful.
4 players in the A side for Hollidaysburg. I think they understand a lot of initial contact, but
Ooh.
3 picks all of a sudden in the blink of an eye for Hollidaysburg. Snipes getting 2 of them. Frost with the Marshall, not able to connect on that shot.
1 enemy
Monopoly
remaining.
pushing up. Now the Marshall last life. Frost trying to pick up a gun. Still not a lot you can do. Chamber flanking on the back end. He's not holding it. Zelok's got to finish it off, and Hollidaysburg well played on the defensive side of things. A
little too much hesitation from Garnet Valley. They looked like they had good. They kind of looked like they were unsure about their entry, and maybe that's just because when Interstellar's smoke went up there, it literally kind of cut off a good chunk of their sight. So they're looking good. They've had a solid start, and now that the guns are even, we're going to see what happens when it starts to matter who gets picks first, because patient play is good and helpful, but if you also give up too much space early, you're just going to get flanked on this big sprawling map.
We had a little bit of a cash curse there. We were complimenting them on their patient play, but then it turned into too much patient play. Now they're setting up towards the A side, going a little bit faster here. Is just push. Oh, I like that fake. I like the bait on the chamber teleport just to get intel, but no one bit on it. I don't think I heard anyone shoot there. Snipes was just watching it, so they didn't get too much out of that.
No, and that smoke will come in there just to try to cut that off. The rotate also comes in too, though. So let's see if they picked anything up, because as far as they know, they still could be hanging there. And it's just this Omen, Interstellar, kind of left alone. The rotate will get some backup, but you know, all this utility's there. They have to find some use for it.
That was very dangerous. Monopoly managed to get bailed out there. The breach flash came in. Now it's heavily favored to the A side. All the utility come out. The Viper pit will come out. Try to clean up and pushes them all back to the same spot. They're going to rush through it. Monopoly trying to get a pick there, but very hard to push to that. Yeah, he's going to get picked off by Hyper. Snipes. Updraft over 1. Actually, the bomb is not planted in the favor of Garnet Valley. Yeah, he's just going to stick the defuse here.
They can stick through it. That will be a showstopper, though. Try to stop that and put an end to it. They do manage to put the end of it, and with it down, this Viper pit is still active. Yeah, I think they were hoping to get that in the pit, but it didn't matter anyways. They continued. Great team execution. Minor struggles, but like all things considered for Garnet Valley, you're happy with that. That was a great use of a couple of your ultimates to get you that round, and you can continue to push this now. Your economy's taking a little bit of a hit, though. if anything for Garnet Valley, you need to kind of play a little bit safer, communicate a little faster, because you're getting picks, but suddenly you're trading, and the more you trade, the less of that lead you can pull away with, right?
Right, most definitely. And the thing about the site is it's so condensed, it's so tight on
Mhm.
so many of these angles that a Viper ultimate can just shut down any sort of retake. I loved Loki, his setup with the sniper trips and the camera, but when that Viper ultimate comes down, you're as good as useless at that point. So Garnet Valley, they definitely look like they have the strategy for this map going on well, as they're setting up a default again. 2 players leaning back in arcade, and 3 will slowly push their way through a main, but look at the flank from Snipes.
Snipes has Snipes have seen after the last couple of rounds, no one's home, so they're going to see something. That Chamber will see that though and spot that out. So now they know, and there will be the reinforcements. But there's still potential to get some value with that. And speaking of value, Monopoly will come up and find some value on that first pick.
I don't know if I like that for Bishy. You have the spike, and you decide to take a risky 50. Frosty gets 1, but look, he does get the trade.
No more
No,
charges
4v2 Hollidaysburg really just have to pretty much play defense here, holding the bomb. Both players for Garnet Valley back towards dish side, so no bomb access means Hollidaysburg just has to literally plant their feet right now.
Oh goodness, yeah. It's they know they can't enter that way, so they're probably going to see about a rotate, and you can hear that zip line, so they'll probably be able to predict it's coming. But the other option here, and it's maybe not maybe the spiciest option, is a save. And that may be the play they're looking for here. Is they may just take the save and go in and try to continue to hold this going to the next round. You have the advantage. The greater you can hold going forward might actually benefit them. So let's see what Hollidaysburg does if they want to push out and try to get some value. And it doesn't look like they're going to look too hard.
A lot of players, don't really like the idea of saving, especially Valorant players. Is something more along the lines of Counter-Strike that was implemented. But still, saving is a vital option, especially in a 4v2 when they have full lockdown of the site. I like this play. It gives your team really a good chance at the next round. Even if your economy's broke, you can play off those 2 rifles. So I think that's
smart play. Yeah, I'm not going to say this isn't what we've seen out of Garnet Valley, because Garnet Valley has looked like a good team, but this doesn't look like an 0-2 team, right? Like, this looks like a team that's just had some tough attacks and tough rounds in the beginning, and they clearly came prepared to win Fracture here, and I like it. But 2-3 is still a close game. With Monopoly having that Empress available, that's probably going to be a deciding factor here in this round. So keep an eye out for that Reyna to come up big.
For the first time, Garnet Valley sends all 5 players in the same spot. They are heavily pushing arcade. Zealot gonna get hit by that trim. He's gonna force him back, and look, they crush it right now. The Breach Box will come in, the updraft. Well organized play here, the push. Zealot, you are getting run down by the entire team. Nothing you can do there. And it's gonna open up a free plant, a free side here for Garnet Valley.
Great teamwork. Like, the triple swing was a bit overkill, but it was a great play. They're really coming together and playing like a team here, and they're looking good. That Omen smoke will come through, but Frost is there ready and waiting for more. We'll find again one more, looking for everything, aggressively playing. We'll find that last one. Hypers will steal it though.
Like you said, Garnet Valley does not look like a 0-2 team at all right now. The coordination, it's not really something you necessarily expect. I mean, we're not in pro player now, we're rushing high school league, but the updraft, the flash, the bait on the rope, these players, it looks like they've been practicing this for the last 2 hours. I mean, it's just perfectly executed. Yeah. Garnet Valley, the offense right now, Hollidaysburg is just thrown off completely right now. They're like, I don't think they were expecting this at all.
I think they were expecting to walk into this and maybe go, we'll take this. Maybe they'll give a couple of rounds, but suddenly they're staring down a 4-2 deficit here. You have to be considering this, because they're willing to force and buy some things here, but that'll be the Chamber ult a little bit early. So Garnet Valley looking to get aggressive here.
Interesting decision to Sherman, though. Just the initial peek on D-Lock. Getting a pick maybe forces some question marks for Hollidaysburg, but they still have 3 towards A site with everyone playing on drop towards the disposition for Garnet Valley. I don't think they want to push out here. They're just playing off the Chamber ult. They're going to get the pick on Interstellar now. Maybe this opens up the green light, but they don't know. They don't know that Monopoly 7. Finally, the flash comes out. They know he's there. Loki's still set up on the site, so maybe they're calling a rotate here. They're still challenging this. Hyper's gonna pick off Loki. They can take the A side here. Bristy with the ultimate, and Garnet Valley just out-aiming Hollidaysburg.
Absolutely, but V-Snipes trying their best to make that hero play. The tactical crouches come in. Remember to stretch your legs between games, and Garnet Valley doing plenty of leg stretching as they extend their lead here 5-2. And You know, I gotta give it to Hollidaysburg here. They are holding their ultimates. They're playing a bit conservatively, and I like it. They're waiting until they feel they have the best chance to make a stand. And this looks like a pretty good. This looks like a decent shot for it because you're coming into your rifles. V-Snipes will have an op. I don't know what you're expecting to get with an op here, but I like the idea of it. So I think if anything, you're going to commit these 2 ults for Hollidaysburg and try to swing this back in your favor.
The op is definitely kind of setting this around as a must-win scenario here. He didn't buy any shields, so he's really playing off that B main peak, but there's no one there for Garnet Valley, all set up towards A side. High C playing very aggressive, gets flashed out. Now Monopoly's gonna fall off, but look at the aggression from Garnet Valley. Everyone holding him. Monopoly is still playing the same position. That's not the greatest time to reload off of the satchels. Does pick up Hypers. Viper ultimate does come back in. They're pushing him. They know he's there. They can't kill him though. Brisk-T will fall to him. 5v3 now. Monopoly still holding Sharma. Finally, they get the pick.
They've gotten the important space control. The Viper Pit just absolutely just blocks the line of sight. I don't even think they know where the spike went down to contest it. Will get found out, and that will be the Jets trading in for one another. But with 30 HP, Frost just going to play aggressive there. Will get the pick. Woo! That is a aggressive play that I respect for that.
Sometimes you're just feeling it. Frost is just feeling it. Still going, but finally Zelak will punish him, says, no, you can't get me on the 3rd one. But goodness, you're staring down a Viper ultimate. The spike is running down. At this point, maybe just trying to play a pick here, but either way you go, it's an utter task to try to win this one. He knows he's out of time.
Yeah, you don't even know where the spike is. If you could even see it or have an idea of where it was. Oh no, he's gonna get found out. Oh no, wasn't ready. We'll get, oh. Unfortunate. Yeah, like that's a tough ask because you don't even know where the spike went down. If you could even see, maybe you could make a claim for, well, I could try to pressure it out, but you can't even see across it. That Viper's Pit, Extrema's Viper's Pits have looked great. The amount of space and control that they've been taking really is just on a different level given the quality. Like you said, like this is a high school level, and I wish half the players in my games would play at this level. Holy crap!
They are looking. The teamwork, honestly, is what's so impressive. Because, like, I mean, even though they're playing with each other, still some teams just struggle to have that synergy, that chemistry. And right now, Garnet Valley is so good, but Zelog is gonna punish that. The Chamber ultimate is such a deadly weapon.
All it takes, it's just, it doesn't even have to be a headshot. You can just hit the body. It's fine. But yeah, once it's out, it is out to play, and they're gonna look for that. Zelog trying to find more. But nothing's there, and suddenly this defense is looking very strong. The rotate will come through. There's a split, though, because they push into sight, and the rest of the team is backed out.
I'm not sure if I like that, Jet, kind of your vital entry. You just dashed in with none of your team there to back you up. No trade possible. And initially, when you're at least on a Moshannon or Eco round, you want a trade there possibly just to get the gun, but they will do that. All 3 players running back now, but right now, Hollidaysburg is right where they want to be at. Snipes on the Jiggle Peak. Doesn't know that Hypers is really low, though, so not going to be able to get that kill. But still, I mean, they don't have to push out here.
But they do have Spike, though, so suddenly Monopoly, who is looking very good, is going to have to make that call as they get rushed down. So hopefully they can get some value here on this entry. That Viper wall will come down, and that will be something.
30 seconds
Monopoly
left.
actually gonna fall off here. Got a little bit of damage. High C very low, Hyper's low as well. They're gonna get the bomb down, but I mean this is very difficult to try to hold. The trade does come out. Now Experiment having to play hero right now. One before the Molly does come out. Interstellar gets timing by Experiment. Maybe another one. Experiment playing the hero after all, but that chamber will get him 2v1, and High C trying to play so much time right now.
I mean, this is the right play. Play the angle, play what you have. You have a flash left. You can make this work. They know he's there, though. They're looking for him. Will eventually get found out, and they will get the spike down to keep it. And Hollidaysburg not going down without a fight. Great. I love to see it. You know, that was a great use of their ultimates. Great play. They got value right away. And hey, that's a thrifty for you. You take that in your pocket and you take a sigh and go forward.
So I mean, looking at that, I thought Experiment was about to just 1v4 the entire team. I called it, but I didn't expect it. But they kept giving him 1v1s, and he utilized that so well. He kept creating the angle, the off peak, to where he could just take him one by one. But eventually, it did get found out. Now 3-6. Garnet Valley still rocking off as Hollidaysburg, like you said, holding on. I think not really trying to change their place on it. They're still playing very passive with the Cypher setup, and it worked last round. They got those initial peaks, but I think Garnet Valley, that was more of their mistake last round for just miscommunicating on when they were entering the site.
Yeah, something in that entry went a little wrong because you're your duelists went in, but there was no support for them. So, as long as the communication holds together, this Garnet Valley can continue to look good. But speaking of holding together, Monopoly gonna unwind that, and that's 2 early picks suddenly with Spike down for Garnet Valley. They'll commit the Rolling Thunder here. They really want to make this work.
We saw this happen last round. Monopoly picks off his skirma as well, and that Rolling Thunder has done absolutely nothing. Frost trying to do everything, but there's so many angles you're getting shot from. Hollidaysburg, deja vu, getting those 2 initial peaks again, and picks from that. 4-6 now.
The aggression from Hollidaysburg suddenly catching Garnet Valley off guard, who were playing more passively. They were trying to just wait and decide and communicate effectively, losing control of the game. So, yeah, if you're Hollidaysburg, this is working in your favor. Take back control, set the pace yourself, and play at the levels you want to. And I agree with you. These Cypher setups have looked great. Monopoly has come out very big with these aggressive plays, not being punished. But speaking of aggression, there's a couple of aggressive ultimates for the side of Hollidaysburg. Empress, you've got that from the shadows. Those can make some big plays if you use them effectively, so let's see how they choose to use those on this. Oh, speaking of that,
the timing there from Monopoly, got caught out trying to throw the Leer. I've been there in that situation. That is mentally taxing, and now Garnet Valley looking like they're completely trying to take this. The same Viper pit that we've seen before comes out. Interstellar knows he's got to get out. A beautiful play. I like that. You've got to get out, but still, so many ultimates coming out from Garnet Valley. The showstopper is out. Gonna find out Loki, and now a 3v5 with the Viper pit down. This just got a lot more difficult.
oh, make that 4v3 because it's there. Now B-Snipe's coming to life over here, gonna even it out, and this Omen on the flank is gonna be a big thing coming up huge. We'll finally get their reign ended, but Interstellar is gonna catch out Viper. Oh, he has to know. He sees it. He sees it. Oh, it's anything's possible right here.
Viper's last life, 36 HP. We saw a situation last time. Not gonna be able to get the initial kill though on Interstellar, and this is dangerous. You gotta peek it. He knows. Interstellar knows too, and Hollidaysburg somehow find a way again. After so much aggression, manages to get the retake with the Viper pit down. I think Garnet Valley took too many peeks there on the initial contact. They didn't place a lot of time there.
I agree, and I mean Hypers is probably kicking themselves. They knew that was, that's the hero play you were looking for, and don't be too hard on yourself because that's a tough. You're under pressure. It's just what it is. But going into the half, they can tie this up, and this could be an incredibly close game for again a 2-0 versus an 0-2. This is an incredibly close game, and I think if you are any other team in this league, you gotta check this footage out because this is suddenly really important for Garnet Valley to look and say, wow, some team actually out here knows how to play fracture or has put some time and energy, but V-Snipes knows how to click those heads. So Brisk T suddenly gonna get back in the fridge and wait for their respawn.
The op coming out clutch, and he has Spike. Snipes has Spike, just has to plan on. Oh, that timing almost got him out, but very aggressive peaks. He doesn't know that Jet Viper are there though. They're gonna jiggle this, but the op comes out. It actually was a collateral. Experiment got hit through it, so that's going to be an easy play for the Jet Daggers now. Hyper's last alive in the last round here is going to get caught out by Loki, and Hollidaysburg is just riding the wave of momentum right now.
Literally, they've never looked back since that first couple of rounds. They were down for quite a bit of time, but managed to turn it back. So side switch, let's see what Garnet Valley brings to this defense, because they bring a very defensive heavy kind of comp in some ways. This Chamber doesn't have really a reason to leave. He's got a lot of space control and has looked good. Brisk T has looked very good on that Chamber despite what, 3 and 10, but that's a Sentinel who is, not necessarily playing defense, so that's pretty fair. But Hollidaysburg does have a little bit more of an aggressive comp, so that may work in their favor. They'll be able to keep an eye on these flanks with the Cypher. The question is, did they prepare this map at all to really know what their plans and these set plays they might want to run are?
I think the biggest thing I'm going to be looking out for is the plays of the Breach over on Garnet Valley side of things, because he's not playing on B right now, but he can do so much just to stall out time. They got the info. Jack got the info here. V-Snipe's trying to get the clear trade-off, but he dashed out, so now lots of info. Monopoly going to pick off Exterma. 4-5 situation here, setting up towards 8. It appears Frost, the aggression. Look at the plays from Frost, just doing everything. Gets another one, and what looked good for Holiday is now
4-5. Oh man,
he's insane.
That's crazy.
Twitter, put it on Twitter and whatever Instagram you use, social media, just clip it, ship it.
That was beautiful. That was
gorgeous.
That was 5 kills and maybe 6 or 7 bullets, and man, that was.
Here.
Ooh, Frost coming to life has been Frost has been like shining through this team for the side of Garnet Valley and has looked good. Like hasn't hit the ace good, but has looked good. Has come up, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills in rounds. But, ooh, man, you're feeling yourself. That's a great pickup for Garnet Valley on this defense.
Oh, someone get my ranked Jets to play like that, because that was just amazing. Gets the initial contact down B main. Doesn't really have to repeat this, but he does have the Marshall, so obviously you're gonna want to hold this one. Noppa's gonna lurk underneath the tunnel, but they've got so much information just off of that initial peek of the Marshall. Dangerous orb grab. Snipes is gonna get it though, but still, I don't think they want to commit to this, and they're going to fall off.
No, and the rest of the call from Garnet Valley is realizing that there's something there they don't want to block. That will be the wall coming up, and good stall for time to kind of force this rotation. And I like this. This is a great play. They'll get the orb. That is value. That is just value. They got both orbs, so these ultimates coming in are going to be huge. The spray from Extrema, though, coming up huge.
Beautiful spray control, and now everyone just stuck A main for Hollidaysburg, trying to get this big. A few whiffs here from Frost, another one. Not able to kill Interstellar. Interstellar's gonna repeat, but finally Frost manages to make contact.
Oh!
Another crispy headshot from Frost makes up for the misses earlier. Garnet Valley, wonderful reads on the defensive side.
Yeah, great reads, great communication. You can tell with how quickly they are making these rotations with these plays. You can tell the communication is just clear from the side of Garnet Valley. We haven't seen them in a bit of time now, but whatever they did during this break of the season is truly paid off, and Frost with the only ultimate on the board has earned those knives relatively quickly. I think did get both orbs, but will they choose to use them here? You might want to just hold on to it. You're kind of in like you probably don't need them, but you're feeling yourself, you might give those in.
Some players like to do it quickly and just keep farming the orbs. It doesn't look like he's going to pump it just quite yet. Snipes, though, force the operator. They know that they have an off now off the early shot, so IC's wise not to peek this one. The Ruma does spot one out, and you see Garnet Valley all rotating towards the B side. High C gets Loki with the Spectre. Maybe going to force off this A push, or B push rather, it seems, from Hollidaysburg. We see everyone just waiting patiently A main. Interstellar's going to fall back over to them, and at this point, Garnet Valley's rotating, but Hollidaysburg's yet to rotate off.
No, they really haven't decided, and they're kind of feeling the pressure from all these angles, so they don't really know what to do. Again, this is a map they probably didn't really scrim, so they're kind of doing this on the seat of their pants here. They will eventually move into the tunnel, and the question is does I say that, but Interstellar will find one in high C, so they're going to take this rotate around and bait out a rotate. I like that. They're going to double back into B, and that's a good use of map geometry. I really do like that take.
That's the one thing about this map. It's so easy just to fake out where you're going and fall right back around to the other side. So many different openings that you can go through. Hollidaysburg, they've got the bomb up into heaven. They're going down on the site. It's going to be a plant here as Frost is just holding this angles tightly. Knows that the plant is coming out. He does have the operator because Hollidaysburg did force it. He managed to pick it up. They know that Z-Lock is there. Wise not to peek that. And now Hollidaysburg, matter of playing time.
3-3, make that 3-2, traded out, and Frost did commit those, and suddenly there's a chance. Z-Lock is stuck here, kind of has to get a pick, and will find one, finds two to clutch it! Ooh, what a play from Z-Lock!
Sorry.
Z-Lock said, yeah, Frost, I see you on the other side getting clips. Let me get one of my own. Gorgeous, beautiful spray transition, the shot, the aim on target for Z-Lock. Wonderful.
Both these teams...
Both play so good.
There's just plays to be made from both these sides. Every single one of these players having a good moment. And that's, I mean, it shows. The team play is coming together great here. It's a close game, 7-8. I mean, what does Hollidaysburg do here? They're kind of in this, I think they settled on sort of a mixed buy. I don't think they really knew what to do and if they wanted to commit it in time. So that may punish them. You kind of have to be able to make these decisions quick. In these moments, and you're tied up, you kind of either have to commit to a force or something like that. So we'll see what happens with what they purchased, and if that punishes them for it.
Looks like they're trying to rely on the jet knives to get some sort of leeway here. Hyper's just holding out his paint shells, looking to chuck that nade. They're going to have the A side. Hollidaysburg just free walk on a site. Garnet Valley elected to give it to him. Mercy, though, is going to get sniped. That was Hollidaysburg's main leader in the offense right now, was the jet daggers. Flash comes in. This is a nice looking attempt. Oh, look at that. High C is forcing that. It's going to be very awkward. Interstellar with the Marshall kill. Z-Lock's going to pop the ultimate, trying to Well, Hypers 43 here, a couple of misses, but they just have to keep playing time.
I mean, they do, but they've got the important thing of the spike down, but the numbers are slowly dwindling, and Ultimate's committed. They kind of have to make this work. The double sentinel will make this a little easier, but the high C will come up. They need to aggress onto this. They're running out of time, though, if they want to make this. They have the numbers. Can they make the push?
Pulling that with the upper chamber off there. Oh, unable to get someone. Finally does get it, though. Monopoly's gonna kill Frost on the edge. Now Hollidaysburg riding their own momentum here. We kind of saw it last half, and they're getting back to that ways. Garnet Valley has they have yet to really have an answer.
No, the answers they make come kind of in spurts. They look good. They set their foot down, but again, they're kind of just in this weird spot, and now they're looking down like a half buy, maybe a force. Like no one's really got anything. Hypers is gonna opt into the judge. It looks like they're just going to play close quarters and angles here, judging by these shotguns, which, yeah, I mean, you're saving. You might as well see if you can take 1 or 2 down with you. And meanwhile, they're stacking hard on B, so this is not the angles they wanted to be taking for these shotguns. So this is going to becomes a little bit of a surprise and a tougher retake.
The Shimmer coming out from High C is not really able to get a pick, but he does get a lot of info from it. We see the rotate coming off of A side. Monopoly, though, will pick off High C. Looks like they're trying to push into this as quickly as they can. Not really a lot you could do here. You all have shotguns. You really can't hold the long angles. Hypers gets picked by Monopoly. Monopoly dismisses on the site. Experiment maybe will be good for 1 here, but there's not a lot you could do in this situation. They all know you're there. Interstellar will pick him off. 5v2 now. Frost with the 40. Maybe he can get 1. No, he's not going to be able to.
It was a tough round for them, and I like the concept they were running on, but it was just kind of a loss. This might have been one of those cases where the team decision seemed right and everybody agreed to it, but you probably should have just taken a full save, gone to classics, maybe ghosts if you're feeling advantageous, and just get a full reset, because you had a good lead, you were holding on to it, and suddenly that lead is slipping away from you. So Garnet Valley needs someone to come up big here and with a full stack of rifles, and there is a Viper's Pit. Experiment has gotten incredible value in the past with that Viper's Pit. Can they do it again here? Because that may be the tool that gives them an advantage.
Both Jet players deciding to run with the operator, and then what feels like the battle of the undefeated teams right now, it's almost swapped. I feel like this game is showing these two teams on such a high level, and last game we expected that, but it's happening for this one. So the initial op kill does get the Jet down, but it's so tight between these two teams.
This is not the map I think we were expecting, and I'm happy to see that, especially for so many more reasons. The peak will come, and Monopoly will find those double ones, unfortunately for them. But High C, again, coming up huge on this breach. We were kind of alluding to this. These flashes and all this control and initiation power is so big and has gotten so much value for High C that you're happy with this choice, and Hollidaysburg suddenly just doesn't have a lot of options.
Ooh, the timing there. High C whiffed his initial shot, so Interstellar was able to get the op kill, but still a 2v4. You're not a lot of HP. You're holding on to an op. They can literally be anywhere. This is the danger of Fracture. Loki, way to hold that angle, and now Garnet Valley second guessing their pushes here. They still got 2 towards the B side.
I know exactly where.
Just trying to get the jiggle picks, but the Cypher is gonna find him out. Now they are expecting to rotate here. Actually, maybe not. No, they're still playing patient, but still not a lot of options here for Hollidaysburg.
And all Garnet Valley needs to do is just continue to, they can play a little more passively again, like they've done successfully here, and just wait this out. They'll get the round. The bigger, this is a very big case of like lose the battle, win the war, because if Hollidaysburg continues to hold on to this op and they hold a couple of their guns, they are aggressive pushing. Will take one out of Frost Sand though. They want to go for it.
No time.
Time hits. Yeah, that's fine. Garnet Valley, you're fine with that. But the question is that the op is still in the hands of Hollidaysburg. So is that a case where you might have wanted to try to force a kill there and chase that down? Because with the op in hand, suddenly it's like that's a good eco boost for the side of Hollidaysburg, and an operator in their hands means that you have to suddenly play a lot closer, watch your angles a lot tighter, and you may regret that choice in the future.
I think Garnet Valley, you had low eco because you had to force last round. You also bought an op last round. So letting that operator stay in the hands of Hollidaysburg and still letting them have it. Look at the economy for Hollidaysburg. Full rifles, and they still have so much versus Garnet Valley. They are struggling with this fight, but Frost, oh my goodness. He is having the game of his life right now. Maybe another one. No, I jinxed him.
No, you did, but that will be the call to rotate in, and Chamber, meanwhile, for Hollidaysburg will come through, and they're pushing out here. They're going to try and take this space. They think they want to commit to A, but they don't really have the numbers nor the utility. Like, they've spent a lot to get to this point, and now they're kind of slowly getting surrounded by Garnet Valley.
This is kind of a standoff moment where both teams are just like, you make the first move and we'll go off of you. Everyone just chilling A main right now for Garnet Valley. Hollidaysburg, they've got Chamber watching B main. He's got that sense of doubt though, because he's gonna throw that trip though. That's gonna give him a good pull to the B side. Now they know the spike comes out for Z-Lock. Now strong interstellar right into the Roomba from Raze. Look, he does get a pick. He's got a chance here. He's got to hold so
the flank though. I see on the flank. It's high sugar, but it's high flank potential also. So will catch the Cypher out. There it is, just like that. Beautiful.
So much utility. One of the most things that people hate playing this game is Breach, just because he can use so much.
Stun you to death. Yeah.
The stun, the flashes, everything about Breach makes players hate Breach, which is why no one wants to see him come into play, and especially on Fracture. I think Garnet Valley, that's why they did it, because it's so frustrating to play against him.
Oh yeah, and not to mention, you just have so many positions that you can take advantage of it. You know, it's not going to be as, you know, it's why you don't see him on Breeze, it's why you don't see him a lot of places. There are so many tight corners that you have to keep an eye out here, and all it takes is just one Breach flashing you and someone poking a different angle you didn't really have covered for the moment, and suddenly you're done. But that is going to be Frost coming up huge for the first pick there, and that's a lot of Cypher utility down.
Yeah, now Garnet Valley rotating off of that initial pick. It's a little bit of a premature rotate, I think, but still, Garnet Valley holding this wrong is right, rather, as Hollidaysburg, everyone is A main. I don't think they want to take this push. They kind of know that there's so much utility going on. They're playing very patient. Sides actually managed just to peek through the Viper wall and get that pick. I don't know how he saw that.
Call it an instinct. I mean, sometimes you just take a shot in the dark. You know, the joke in the community, at least from people I hang out, is just always spray your smokes. You never know what you're gonna find, and they found something there. So now they're gonna make this rotate, but their calls come in, so they will be met on this B site.
Maybe a little bit too loud on the rotate. I think they were able to hear it. These sides, that was a good chance, but unable to pick off the chamber. And now they're going to full sprint all the way back, playing a little bit of track right now, getting the exercise in, but I think they're calling it all good as Monopoly right here with his teammate. They've got two in the spot. They're going to get the plant down, and now Garnet Valley has to rotate over, but they were very late.
Good call from the Hollidaysburg team to take the Omen and let them have the spike and get that plant down. So they have the power position here, and now they have some angles to play with too. But they will fall in, and that will be Frost committing those knives.
Oh, there's only so much you can do. The Z-Lock tried getting the hero play. Can't get all four players though, and really, that entire retake was, who have we been talking about the whole time, done because of Breach.
Yeah, that Breach opened up so much. You could see the kill feed light up with Jet, but the real hero play there was Breach. Was all that utility, all the various play, and the other hero play that we've kind of been alluding to this whole time was the team play of Garnet Valley. That was a great entry. Everybody moved at once. Everybody used utility and exactly how they needed to. Nobody got flashed, which is, you know, a common thing, at least in my games. So you know, 11-9, they can close this out here and give themselves a W to go forward, and that's a great propeller for the remainder of this season.
And these sides of Fracture with an agent like Breach or like Killjoy, your ultimates cover the entire site, and it worked so well because three players from Hollidaysburg were on the site clumped up next to each other. It just made for a perfect retake for Garnet Valley. Now Hollidaysburg, they're gonna set up towards the B site. They get an early smoke down. I see very awkward, very dangerous here in this situation. Just trying to play time for his team to rotate, and now the rotate will come through.
It will come through, but they've gotten control of most of that site. They've gotten some entry in, but the question is, can they get in there? And that will be the Boombot, just to try to give some sort of potential. They did catch that Hyper sees them there, but can't really connect on the kill.
Main shells will come in. So much utility being thrown down right now. Snipe's just jumping around the ball, trying to get picked. It's so awkward. Finally, he's going to get picked off, though. And this Hollidaysburg push has been throttled by the amount of utility used. You're going to get picked off by Frost. Hyper's going to pick Monopoly. And now Garnet Valley approaching match point. Hollidaysburg, you are in your final life.
Man, yeah. I'm just kind of stunned because everything about this was kind of looking to say, okay, Garnet Valley chose this map. They knew what they wanted to do. We kind of, I don't know about you, but I kind of underestimated the pick. I was kind of thinking it was just like, all right, we haven't done well on traditional maps. Let's try something experimental and see how this goes. But this is clearly where they shine for Garnet Valley, and they're looking very, very good. So looking to close this door, and they have a full stack of rifles to do so. Can they bring this home and bring home their first W of the season?
I'm not sure what Garnet Valley was doing during their couple of weeks of not playing, but surely it was something to do with strategy because they put in the boot camp and they have grinded. It has been well. Oh, High C's gonna get tired by Monopoly. He doesn't always. Oh, what a flick reaction time from High C. He's still gonna stay like hyper spelling it out. And, oh my goodness, High C. That was a flick and a half.
Ooh, that was beautiful. High C, you know, we've been singing the praises all day, but High C has been incredibly good on this breach. And, you know, you've got to keep an eye on that for the future. Keep an eye out for an all-star game later because you'll probably see High C on breach there if this keeps up.
5v2 now. Hollidaysburg does have a free A site, but I mean, you're going to get the plant down.
But it's 5-2. It's 5-2.
You have to be aggressive here, I feel like. If you're one of these players, you've got to force just a kill or something. They're going to play next to each other on site. They're going to really, really rely on the op skills of Z-Lock. Z-Lock, if you have been training with the op, if you're one of the people that uses op in a deathmatch, it's got to pay off now.
Oh, but that Rolling Thunder is so big. That's so much utility. And again, a stun. Just stunned to death. Can't do anything.
What do you do? I mean, what do you do?
What do you do? What do you do?
You have so much coming at you. You have a flash. You have the Rolling Thunder. You have the trimmer. At that point, I would just I would drop my keyboard, let go of my mouse. All right,
we're done. Yeah, next game. Yeah, next game because. But it really speaks to the agent choices, right? Though, because that's the difference of having an agent you're looking for on a map that is a good fit for them, and that is breach. I mean, High C ended up there 14-12, but the actual it's such a shame because the leaderboard doesn't really show the actual value of that initiator, right? Like 14-2 is better than 1-1. Like you traded everything, but the real thing it did is set up Frost all the way up there at the top, right? Set up so much because Frost was almost 1.5 for everything, and the team plays that it set up were so just stellar. Big chef's kiss for Garnet Valley, and they will go up 1-2, and Hollidaysburg will fall 2-1. So still shifting these ranks, and man, that's one you got to keep an eye on if you are any other team in this league.
If any of the other teams are watching right now, or you're going to be watching this VOD later back, you have better start studying this team because they just blew it out of the water. If they have the map pick and they pick Fracture,
you have to be ready for this.
You've got to prepare. But that does wrap it up here, so for this last game of the Valorant today. Tomorrow, we are going to be having Rocket League. You're going to be seeing me here for the Rocket League at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Esport Company, twitch.tv/Esport Company with Division 1 taking place here. Twitch.tv/Tech High School League for Division 2. It'll be starting at the same time. Make sure you do !socials to follow all of the Esport Company's social leagues. And if you want to follow me and Soab, do !casters, follow our socials. Soab, that's going to wrap it up for me. Any last words?
No, this was a joy to be here for. We've seen a lot of new things, a lot of different things, and I think if you're a longtime follower of this league, this is probably one of the better weeks we've had, and I can't wait to see what happens as we get into the further weeks. So you'll see me here, and I'm sure Ziz, you'll probably be back too as well. But I can't wait for more.
So promising. I'll be watching if I'm not casting because that was a great series. We're getting into the end time of the season, so it's getting crunch time for a lot of these teams. But hopefully you guys enjoyed your viewing experience tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be seeing you tomorrow for some Rocket League action. But that will wrap it up for us. Have a great rest of your day.